Hello, family, friends, and fans. I'm Fletcher Rhoden, and this is Fletcher Rhoden Track by Track. This week, we're looking at my 2023 pop album, The Wendy Theory. So, as usual, I'm starting the analysis, which will be in consecutive days for as long as the record is. And it starts with an overview. So for the overview video, which you're watching now, there'll be a link below to the whole playlist of the entire album on YouTube. So you can check it out for free. And then for all of the subsequent song analysis videos, there's going to be a link to each song. So you can hear me talk about it and then go hear the song. And then maybe go back and forth and see if my analysis doesn't line up with your own. And you can leave comments too. Happy to hear what you have to say, and I will respond in like kind. So let's be like kind. Okay, so this album, 2023, the backstory of this record is I moved to Las Vegas in 2021 with eyes on I was a writer by profession, a freelance writer, but I wanted to sort of get into the performing game as a comedian. I had an act of singing funny songs. I sang mostly songs about sex, novelty songs. So in 21 I moved to Vegas, and in 22 I bought a condo, and I set up a little. It was a walk-in closet, which I set up to be a home studio. And there I did my audiobooks, and there I did my I started recording all my comedy songs as songs. I had a cool MIDI set up, MIDI, I guess it is, and so I was, all my guitars and stuff. So I was recording a lot. I was, I was recording a lot, writing a lot, recording a lot. I had old songs, new songs. I had a long list of titles to choose from. And then it occurred to me around, that was 2022, I bought the place. I started recording early in 2023. And as I recall, or late in 22. So it occurred to me around the middle of 2023, into it, like a few months into the year, that I probably wasn't going to keep performing in Vegas in the comedy world. I didn't really like it. I did a few gigs. I did pretty well. There was already another guitar comic in town, so he sort of had my spot for a lot of things. And I just, comedy is weird. In the comedy world, who books the shows that you get on? Other comics. So the lunatics are kind of running the asylum in the comedy world. And I didn't really want to be on tour, which would have been the next step. I didn't want to get in someone's Buick and drive to Boise or Portland or something like that, or Phoenix from Vegas just to do a song for people in Phoenix and then come back and say, hey, I was on tour. Too old for that. And I honestly came to believe, and I still believe this to this day, that stand up comedy is really only good as a stepping stone in a young actor's career. You get uh, you get comfortable on the stage and you're funny, or you perfect your personae and your skills, your communication skills on stage. Then you get an agent or a manager. They get you a few commercial spots. Then you get a couple of sitcom spots or spots on 1 hour long shows. Then, if you're super lucky, you get a spot on someone else's sitcom. Maybe it becomes a recurring character. Maybe you luck into an Urkel situation where you're the runaway character, and then you've got a career. But stand up for its own sake, that's a bygone concept. Okay, even Richard Pryor gave up stand up to make terrible movies because that's where the money was. Um, I think Mort Saul, Lenny Bruce. These were the last of the true stand-ups who didn't then parlay it into some kind of media career. George Carlin tried. George Carlin tried for a sitcom. Anyway, I'm getting way off. I'm getting way off base here. So I was doing this comedy music, and I decided comedy wasn't a direction I wanted to go in life. So then, what do I do? Now at the same time, I was doing so much recording that I had accidentally started recording straight up pop songs that weren't comedy songs. I just didn't realize this because I had a list of songs that was very long that I had been carrying around for a long time. Uh, I was loaded for bear, so I just decided to switch gears at this time and finish this pop album. Why not? I hadn't put anything out in a long time. I had this home studio and I wanted to share the fruits of my labors. So I just decided I would back off the comedy and do this comedy album, which it's about love gone wrong. It's my love gone wrong album, and that's those are the kinds of love songs I generally write, and this was just a good way to indulge it. I hadn't had any big romantic fallout at the time. It was just it was time to write pop music, and pop music is about romance, and romance gone wrong is really the most I know of romance. So I know, pity me. So I just wrote what was in my heart, uh, dark, cankerous hole that it is. So I wrote it, I finished it, I liked it at the time. This is one of my favorite of my own records, to be honest. I don't listen to it a lot. I don't listen to any of my music really that much, but um, this is one of my favorites. It has a real sheen. It has a different sound to it, a real pop sound, sort of a sparkly, glimmery sound to it. Um, you know, I I wouldn't mind remixing it now. It wasn't remastered with these other ones because it had been mastered when I recorded it. So it just it has its own kind of sound and it's real poppy and it's a very handsome slice of pop music is my take on it. The songwriting is good. It's got certain innovations that I like to do. It's got three songs all sewn together as one. I didn't really innovate that, but an approach I often use, and it works to great effect here. Um, it's got a nice combination of sweet and sour, which I like in my music and in most things. And it's a hallmark of what I do is it might seem cheerful enough, but there's a dark undercurrent. This album has that a lot. It's the music seems really cheerful, but the lyrics have this dark, ominous tone. So I like that. I like that in other people's stuff, and I like it in my own. So that it's got that, and the title. Let's see, the title. It's a cool title, The Wendy Theory. I knew at one point that the next pop album I would have that I would put out would be called The Wendy Theory. And the reason I knew that is because I'm a Shining fan, a fan of the movie The Shining. I've read the book, don't love it. I'm not a Stephen King enthusiast, really. I find him to be kind of hacky. I know he's the greatest accomplished horror writer of them all, but I just Carrie, Christine, Cujo. First of all, what's with the C word titles? And also, they're not good. Just because he wrote it doesn't make it good. The Shining is the best thing he wrote, and even it is. The movie is much better than the book. So there's this, one thing about The Shining, the movie, it's so good that there's a whole school of analysis of it. It's one of these movies that people like to analyze as much as they like to just watch it. And the Shining is very well analyzed. All other movies of this sort are like Taxi Driver or Falling Down. The Sopranos. It's not a movie, but there's lots of videos about it, analysis videos. So I was watching these analysis videos of The Shining because I found them to be uh, intriguing. And by the way, I did a parody of one. The Shining is really the first Exorcist sequel. Uh, so I did a theory, a Shining theory video, which is on this YouTube channel, but a different playlist. Anyway, so it's funny though. It's a good video. Anyway, I was watching this, and one of these analysis videos of The Shining is called the Wendy theory. And the Wendy theory of The Shining, because there are theories like it's his confession of having faked the moon landing footage, or da da da. It's all there are no ghosts at all in the story, and there are different approaches to the thing. And one of them is that Wendy is the insane one, not Jack, and that when you're seeing half the movie from her perspective, and the movie cuts in and out of her POV, and she's demonstrated to be an unreliable narrator because of the flaws in the film. They reflect on her unreliability as a narrator, and instead of being the victim, she's the killer. She kills Jack. She strangles Danny. She rolls the ball to Danny in the hallway. She's the scary woman in room 223. That was the theory. And I liked the theory, and I just liked the title of the video. I thought, wow, the Wendy theory. That's a great name for a rock band. And it is. But I wasn't about to put together a rock band, but I was bound to make a pop album sooner or later. And I thought, wow, it would also be a great name for a pop album, especially if it's about love gone wrong, and how the woman maybe is the villain. And it kind of, the songs take on that timbre. It's not a concept album. The song is not about The Shining, but it is inspired by that phrase, the Wendy theory. The first song is called the Wendy theory. The closing song is called the Sabrina theory. And we'll talk about those in detail. Sorry, talk about those in detail later. Anyway, so the other notable thing about this record is it's the cover. The cover is done by artificial intelligence. I use a site called Crayon, but it's Craiyon. Get it? Crayon with AI. And you just type in this. I think I typed in uh, "pretty girl with an axe" because in the Shining, Jack has the axe famously, and uh, I just thought "pretty girl with an axe," and that's what it came back with. I think in the style of Picasso, I typed that as a prompt, and it came back with this among other things. And I thought, oh, that's perfect. It even looks like the character Wendy from The Shining. It isn't meant to be. Don't sue me over it. It's not her image. It was an AI generated image that just came up. I just put in "pretty girl with an axe," and that's what came up. And it doesn't, I mean, the clothes aren't exactly right, but it has her look, the overalls, the striped shirt. It looks like Wendy Torrance to me. And it also looks the way the album sounds. The colors, if anyone is attuned to the idea that sounds and colors are related, this album cover looks the way the album sounds, with splashes of magenta and bold, dark black lines and uh, quirky, attractive ugliness kind of a thing. So anyway, that's the overview of the Wendy theory. This run of Fletcher Rhoden track by track is premiering in Valentine's Day month of February, just to sort of be kitschy. Sometimes I'm not doing these things in any order. I'm just sort of putting them where it seems appropriate. In the case of new albums, I'll have a new track by track edition congruent with the album's release. But since these are mostly old albums, I'm just sort of doing them where they feel right. And so this one is in celebration of Valentine's Day. Okay, so that's it. Tune in for the song by song analysis. Starts tomorrow and will go consecutively day by day until it's done. It's only 9 songs, I think. So check in, enjoy it, listen to the whole album if you want ahead of time so that you know what you'll be listening to. It's all free, it's all fun. Tune in again. And until then, bye, Mary.